Good evening, heroes and heroines, and welcome to Practising Programming in C. Before we begin, I'd better mention that my laptop's keyboard broke just on the right hand side. So most of the keys are alright. It's just like stuff like the colon doesn't work, the backspace key doesn't work, the apostrophe key doesn't work. I mean, hopefully with a bit of luck, I won't need to use backspace at all today because I'll just be able to type it all in without any mistakes. But I'm not sure whether I could do without a colon. Would a colon be possible? Oh, actually a semicolon. I couldn't do without a semicolon. Let me just actually see what I've got going on up here. There's nothing too sketchy, I don't think. I'll just clear that. And clear that. That might be an issue, thinks the staff. Can't have a semicolon, exactly. Fortunately though, I do have a little, well, I can probably show you the keyboard without interfering. Oh, actually that would be quite handy actually. Copying a thing. I don't know if you can see that at all, but this is the keyboard that I'm currently using. It's just an external one, so I've got all this crap plugged in. I've got my audio interface, I've got my keyboard. I haven't got a mouse plugged in, so I am able to use a touchpad, so I could potentially copy that. Yeah, so if this current keyboard conks out, I can always ask you guys to just type in. I mean, we could do like a human speech to text interface in order to get the stuff done. But now that I mentioned the keyboard, there are a couple more things to mention. One of which is, well, it's all basically new projects having entered the network. So these entered just yesterday, I believe. Yesterday or today. Fire's arrived. Wow. Okay. These entered, yeah, I think we approved them yesterday or the day before. But then they're live now in the network. So we have this one here called Sea Toy, which seems very interesting actually. I think it's supposed to be a sort of like shader toy, except for C rather than for like shaders. Now I still don't really know what shaders are, but I know that shader toy is a thing that exists, and it allows you to do like hot code reloading. And currently, CETA looks kind of neat. Yeah, it does. It's ready for Windows 64-bit and Mac OS X 64-bit, and Linux is in progress, it says. So it'll be cool to see how that all comes together in terms of like a full and complete release. The next one is one called O Time. Now this is by Mikkel, who is the host of Handmade After Dark, and it's essentially a rewrite of Sea Time, which is Casey Muratori's timing application, timing tool. That basically I use it on stream actually. I use it to time how long the builds take to occur. And Mikkel's rewriting it in Odin and adding new features. And Odin itself is a project in the network, I believe. I know that GB Libs, which is Ginger Bill's other project, I know that's definitely in. But I think Odin is a project in the network as well. So I think this is like the first instance of some like interbreeding within the network, which is kind of exciting. The next one is one called Tile Machine, and this is by Anton Swifton. I hope I pronounced that name right. Now this is a really interesting one to me actually, because it reminds me of an old game that I used to play at primary school. This game was called The Crystal Rainforest, I don't know if any of our like British viewers will remember that game, or if you like, I don't know if it's specific to the school I went to or Britain or whatever. But in that game, it was basically a game that taught you logo really, and tile tile machine here. It seems to be teaching. It's also sort of teaching uh, AI sorts of stuff. Insofar as can't remember the name, I'll have to link it later. It was pretty awful in terms of like the control scheme. I mean, part of that is a product of it wanting to teach logo. So you're basically like clicking on kind of directions in order to move your person, and also inputting like how many times you want that direction to occur. So kind of interesting. Logo with a little turtle and the pen that drove around. Exactly that thing. Yeah. So yeah, we also had that at school. We had the actual turtle. um, I don't remember using it very much, but we definitely had it. I think I played the Crystal Rainforest more than I played with that turtle. Um, but yeah, this is sort of teaching, like, it's really like AI, as I understand it. Teaching a computer how to play a simple tile game using tetronymers. So yeah, very interesting to see how that comes together. And also in terms of like 2017 being the year of education for the Handmade Network, I think this will fit in perfectly because I think there's tons of like educational potential in it. So that was a tile machine, and the last one we introduced is called Zero Types Library for Visual C++. Now, when we were discussing this, I didn't really have much to say because uh, I am not really up to the point. I don't have enough knowledge of C++. No, I don't have any knowledge of C++ at all. But I certainly didn't have enough knowledge of anything that this deals with. I mean, I haven't even done any types yet, I don't think. So this is all a bit kind of beyond me. But it seems like it is a really helpful library. It's got all this stuff here. Super deep random numbers, whatever that means, which sounds very interesting. Random data generated from atmospheric data as well. Yeah, but it seems like a very cool kind of library that should help to make people's lives a bit easier. And that's kind of like part of the spirit of Handmade Network, isn't it? Like making the lives of the programmer easier, making the lives of the user easier. And I mean, potentially making the lives of the computer easier as well. As well as all the other stuff. So yeah, that's Zero Types Library for Visual C++. And that's all the projects. Also today, this is the final announcement. I appeared on a show called Handmade After Dark, which I mentioned just a few minutes ago. And episode 6 of this is up. So if you fancy watching this episode, it's got me, Mickle, Alan Webster, who's Mr. Fourth Dimension, and that's all actually. That's all that's appearing in episode 6. So if you're watching that's there. And let me just see if I can throw that link down to the Twitch as well, just in case people want to see it down there. Has Instabot picked up? Oh, yeah, Instabot hasn't picked up he hasn't picked up the trigger. Oh, actually, he has. I beg your pardon, he has picked up the trigger. So there you go. Yeah, I think that's all the announcement I needed to do, and it's now like 20 past 11, which is unfortunate because John is due to stream, and we're on a bit of a time constraint here. Um, but before without any further ado, let's just go for it. We're doing PPIC lessons, which is insofaras' awesome classroom. And he has also updated it since I last pulled it. He updated it 3 days ago. Let's have a look at the commits. Typos, tab spaces, add an exercise to lesson 1 for a better difficulty ramp. Right, okay, so, yep, I need to pull this. And where do I do that, exactly? Should I just do that up here? I think that might be the easiest. Go to Git, GitHub, Baines, PPIC. And if I git pull it, it should clash, actually. Yeah, it does. So if I just stash these changes, and because of an awesome suggestion from Mr. Fourth Dimension himself, I'm just gonna treat the lessons as like a drill, and kind of go through them again, which is fine for stashing. So I mean, I could potentially drop the stash now, but maybe I'll keep it. But yeah, let's open up 4Coder. And let's just resize that. PPIC lessons, lesson 1. So that lesson 1 there is my old thing. Somehow that's survived the stash. But this is the new thing. So our string's the same, right? So okay, an alternative string. So yeah, I did see them chatting about this actually on Twitter. So one of them is null terminator, one of them is not null terminator. So okay, fine. Oh, that has got the length. Oh, okay, interesting. So whenever something is not null terminated, I presume that you want to be passing the size. Yeah, I presume like that you just have to pass the size so that you know where to iterate to. Yeah, so let's get on. Oh, actually, let's just change to that directory. So I'm already there. Lessons 1, I think that's correct. So if I just run this, it should die actually. Yeah, which is fine. So yeah, let's go for it. We have 30 minutes. 30 minutes of music. I will actually just get that out of the way so I can potentially see if I get a ping when John goes live. Although, I mean, let's go for the 30 minutes. 30 minutes at least. Well, actually, see which comes first, 30 minutes or me implementing all of these functions. And then the next the next landmark will be John going live. So, dude, where's my car? It takes a string and a which, not terminated string, the character is position we're looking for. Right. Okay, I remember this being really easy. So while string exists, isn't it? It's already a bit awkward having to like type on my knee. And the thing is, my table is not deep enough for me to actually put the keyboard on the thing. Yeah, let's stick with it. So it's a string at I is equal to which, then return I, otherwise return 0, wasn't it? Oh no, return -1. Let's see if this builds. It does build, that's always a good sign. Oh dear. Oh no. For int I, while string exists, is a null terminated string. Plus plus I, right? If string at 0 is equal to which, then return 0. If we get through there, return 0, minus 1. Well, I wasn't expecting that to die. Due to my car. Located to the right of global variable. Oh, wait a second. Sorry. Ignore me. So I need to try and get this thing actually do what I want. Right, this should be the correct, yeah. Right, thank goodness for that. So yeah, I passed it. Right, so implement me number 2. A null terminated string, a non-null terminated string, the length of string B in characters requirement. Compare string A and string B. If all characters are equal, return 1. Otherwise, return 0. So we need to iterate up to the string B size. Yeah, this is kind of interesting actually, because we don't know which one is larger. Which one could be larger? Well, I mean, either of them could be larger. So really we want to iterate up to the end of string A. Let's do this, and I is less than string B, just to catch that case. Right, because I don't want to go out of bounds here. Why have I got a semicolon sitting there? That's insane. Oh, hang on a minute. They could match. Yeah, they could match until string A has finished. But string B could still have some more stuff. So I do need to, after doing this loop, I do need to go on and check if string B at I is null or not. And if it's not, then we output 0. And it's not that, is it? It's also like, it's more like this. And it's also not really a 4, is it? It's more of a, it's more of a like, while they match, it's kind of like, it's like 3 cases. It's while string A exists, and string B size, and I is less than string B size, and they match, we want to increment. Let's just try that. Let's just give myself an I as well. So it's while string A at I exists, and I is less than that, yeah. So while that exists, while these are valid, and string A at I, actually, maybe, I'm not sure. I was going to say, do I need to do the if within the while? And I'm not sure if I do. You know, do the comparison, do the match. I'll see what happens this way. Commit I. So while that exists, so while that is not null, right, and I is less than string B size, which means that we are indexing into string B at a point where we are indexing into string B up until its last character. It might be easy to start with a while true. Oh, and a bunch of if statements inside, then decide which condition you want to put in the while for. Interesting. If they actually want to increment. If they match, I want to increment. If string A I is less than, if string A still exists, then I want to increment. And also if string B size is, if I is less than string B size, I want to increment. I think I might. Yeah, I mean, that's probably a good clue, actually. It's probably a clue that I'm on the wrong tracks here. I think I will just see what happens, though. And potentially come back to that. Oh, gosh, Abner's arrived. Blimey. Hello, Abner. So we are comparing strings. Comparing strings, and the snag is that one of them is null terminated and the other isn't. So while they're the same, yeah, I feel like after I've done this iteration, I just want to say, like, oh, hang on a second. Yeah. I mean, all these things need to be true, don't they? Like, string A has to exist. String B cannot contain a null character and still be equal to string A. Right, interesting. Right. So yeah, in that case, string B cannot contain a null character and still be equal to string A. In which case it would pop out of the loop, which I think I'm fine with, right? How much longer? I should be live for another, let me just see, for another 18 minutes for another 18 minutes. That's the plan. Cannot continue. Yeah. So what I was going to do then was actually, I was going to do an if. So we're going to say if string B is not null, yeah, I was going to say, I'm just tweeting, wow. So I need to be ready for the influx, don't I? Ready for the waves to come and overtake me. Yeah, I was thinking like when we pop out of it, if string B is, mind you, Ratchet Freak, you're saying string B cannot contain a null character and still be equal to string A. Cannot contain a null character. That's interesting. I wonder if I will actually hit that case. Essentially, what I was going to say was, if this is not null, then I want to return 0. You know, because I have to enter this loop. And if I have got through the loop, oh, mind you. Oh, right. I think I might see. Maybe. Let's just see what happens if I return 1 here. I mean, this is bound to be incorrect. Test failed, yeah. So the input was heroin. So that was string A was heroin. Sorry, string A was hero. String B was heroin. So what was happening here? We had string A. So while this exists, which it will do, while that exists, and I is less than there. Oh, right, yeah, so this, yeah, I can't return 1 like this, can I? Yeah. It's like, because they could have popped out for another reason. Maybe. You know, if that... Oh, sorry. And it shouldn't be if it doesn't exist. It should be if it does exist. That's the case that I'm after. And it still failed. So, okay. So, right. If string B... If there's still some string B... then it outputs that. So there shouldn't have been any more string B left. String A at I. And I. So Ratchet Freak was saying they will not match if there's a null inside string B, wasn't it? That if doesn't work, doesn't do what I think it does. String B is a non-terminated string, of course. Yeah. Cheers. Yeah. So yeah, if I yeah, it's if there's more. It's if there's more to come. So it's if oh yeah, and also what did I do? It was just like string B, wasn't it? It was just something stupid like that. Yeah, that's not what I want still. It's string B at I. The if laws be true. Yeah. And what was this? In function, are strings the same? It's interesting that it kind of outputs those weird colours. This is still failing. So if all characters are equal to 1, I don't want to be trying to index past string B size. Oh, hang on a minute. If yeah, right. If string B size is greater than I, right? That should catch it, shouldn't it? Greater than or equal to I, maybe. Still failing. What's the previous failure? Yin and Y. So if string B size is greater than I, return 0. So we've got two dudes. String B size is 4. So we're going to go into this while loop. It's possible that I might have to do the do a self suggestion actually. So while string A at 3, and 3 is less than string B size, which it is, and they match increments. We increment so that I is equal to 4. And then we're testing string A at 4. And 4 is less than or equal, maybe. I mean, it doesn't matter, does it? Because it still won't enter the loop, so it won't increment the thing. Just try it anyway. Still failing. So string B size is greater than or equal to I. Return 0. If all characters are equal, return 1. Otherwise return 0. What was the first thing I did? Dude is my car. If these guys match. So this was working on one string and just seeing if one character was in it. What was the next thing? It was a non... Oh, it's the trypanophobia one. Right. Okay, right. Let's try self-suggestion. If 0... and end if, right. So it's while true. And then it was the cases, wasn't it? So the case could be if string A at I, if this still exists, then we can increment I. if I is less than the string B size, then we can increment I. I mean, it's kind of like, if this exists and they match, isn't it? Yeah, and also could this actually make it blow up? You know, because we're doing multiple different tests within the same while loop. If they match, if string A at I oh, actually, rather than testing if it exists, we could test it if it doesn't exist. Oh no, we couldn't, because it could still match. I was going to say if it doesn't exist, then we just straight up return. But that wouldn't be correct either. I mean, if these guys exist, sorry, if they match, like, I'm definitely sure about this. If they match, then we want to be going on and checking the next character. Obviously. While true. Oh, right. Are there any other cases? We're gonna only come out if they... Oh, hang on, if they don't match, isn't it? If they don't match, then I can return 0. Why did that not keep the shift held down? I don't know. So in all of these cases, right? Wow, Sean's here. Gosh. I mean, like, such illustrious company. And yeah, kind of hilariously, we're just comparing strings here. We are in a SAF's, we're in a SAF's class, insofaras classroom even. So I'd love to help you. Awesome. Let's just see what this actually does now. This is going to surely fail. Yeah. I just love the fact when you see like no pressure, it's like it's at those moments when like it's at the height of pressure, basically. So yeah, if string A to I, it's good to do this. Remember that most professional programmers probably couldn't do this. Wow. Okay. If string A to I exists, I mean, I tell you what, actually, I suppose I could do with stepping through and just seeing exactly how this plays out. I'm also not returning 1 ever. So, am I returning 1? No, I'm never returning 1. So it's possible that this actually is okay, but probably not. NPM and still compare strings JS. I mean, yeah. Honestly, I've had enough of NPM to... I've just totally had enough of it. Can't wait until Very Much in the Hand of Spirit. I can't wait until the annotation system is off NPM and DocPad and all that crap. It does my head in. Let's just see. I mean, I suppose actually before I do step in, let's just get a handle of the logic first. If string A to I exists, then increment I mean, I suppose we could say that we could continue. Because the thing is, we're incrementing I multiple times, so we're not actually doing the test properly at all, are we? I feel like I do feel like I want to wrap all these into one thing. String A to I is equal to string B at I. I do feel like this is... I just do feel like these are the cases that I'm interested in. And if they don't match... DocPad is very confusing indeed. Think about what should happen when the test fails each time. Right, okay. So let me just undo that little change. Right. So if this, yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the thing is, if this fails... Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, is John live, by the way? Just see. No pressure. So there's no activity down with... Oh, there's activity down in my channel. Blimey. Oh wow, it was Sean and Abner sort of chatting down there. Okay, so we're okay. Yeah, let's just pop some more music on. Let's just put... Does that have to be some? Actually, no, let's not put that on. Let's put on... let's put Gone Home on. Doesn't live yet as far as what I know. Okay. So, okay. So when this string A existing test fails, we then want to see if we've also reached the end of string B. Right. Yeah, so if this fails, then we say if if string B length is less than string B size. Sorry, if string B size is less than I. If it's greater than or equal to I. I agree with Abner. I think Sean solved it as well. If string A at I exists, if it's not null, rather, the increment I. If it is null, then we want to see if string B exists. If string B is also null. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? It's like if string B size take away 1, if that is equal to I, then that means that we can return 1 to say that they do match, right? Otherwise, we know that they don't match. So 0 is, it doesn't match. Sean is doing some fucking shell scripting right now and wants to murder everything. It does sound about right. Return 1, else return 0. So I think I've got this case correct now. But the thing is though, I now want to be, once I've actually gone through this whole oh, mind you, no, this isn't correct. Is it? Yeah, it is actually. I feel like once I get to this position, I want to pop out and try the loop again, right? But the trouble is I haven't actually tested any of this stuff yet. I go to the coat of box, no. Such awesomeness. Yeah. So, I feel like I've got one case correct. I didn't want to do that. It was this. This is failing because it got 0. I think it's time to reveal non-intuitive. Okay. Instead of thinking about the positive cases where you'll continue comparing, think about the cases that will make you break out of the loop. They should be more independent. Right, okay. Right. So, yeah. So right, so it's if they don't match. Okay, so it's if yeah, I mean if they don't match. So let me just start a new loop. I've just got like tons of if zeros. Return 1. I mean straight off the bat, right, I can say if they don't match, just die. Right. Yeah, in fact, we only want to enter the loop if they even match. Although, I mean, I was testing that, wasn't I? I mean, honestly, Insofaras had to rewrite this one a couple of times before he got it right. It's harder than I expected. Yeah, I mean, dude, it's kind of harder than I expected as well. You know, because what is this? It's R strings. It's just a compare strings, and I've done a compare strings function. In real life. I mean, those strings that I did compare, they were both bounded by... Oh, well, they were both the same length for a start, weren't they? Yeah, I guess that wasn't a proper string compare. Is there a link to the input test data? Well, kind of, yeah. I mean, it's on the PPIC repo. So if I can just get that up, yeah, it'd be in her. Yeah. But I haven't looked at it because I'm not supposed to, basically. So yeah, if they don't match, then we do that. Otherwise, we go into the loop, right? And we already know that because we've got to the loop, we know that they do match. I don't feel... Again, I don't want it to be an if. I want it to be a... Like, I do feel like I want to be having, like, they match. But, I mean, I guess that's, like... I guess that's the intuitive way of looking at it. Oh, and I'll tell you what. Yeah, I guess the reason why, actually, is because I actually need to have the loop around all of this stuff, isn't it? That's probably the reason. So we've just got this loop that goes through. But I mean, I also want to be testing on... I want to be testing on string A existing. Yeah, I do. I just do want to be doing that. I do want to be testing on testing on string A at I being not null and string B size being less than I. Right. Oh, hang on a minute. I'll tell you what. While they while that exists and this exists, then we come in and test if they match. If they don't match, they return 0. Otherwise, we increment I. We increment I, and then we go back into this while loop, and we say, if that exists, and this is less than I, enter the loop. Okay. But if one of them is finished, no, they can't. No, can't. It can't be the. While this. Could it be an or, I wonder? While string A or string B exists. Let's see if incrementing I. Unless maybe. Don't think I could think of failure cases. So while this doesn't exist, while that doesn't exist, when can I conclude that the strings are not equal? Let's comment this out. So this is one. This is one case. So this is like. This is like one case where they test to be not equal. They test to be. And they could also fail. They could also be not equal when when I has iterated into a position where it's equal to the string size. You know, so like if I is equal to or greater than or equal to string B size, then they're also not equal. Ikaruga is trying out the challenge. Wow. Is there some testing but check out? Yeah, it's all in the it's in the stuff. It's all built into it, which is just part of the amazingness. So yeah. Ah, right. Is that right? I mean, I guess what we're driving at here again is like, it's just the while true thing, isn't it? So if they're not equal, return 0. And if this guy then return 0. Okay. This is stuff failing. I'm not returning 1. L1. If the test to not be equal, if I get into a position where it's greater than or equal to the string B size. Wow, Chronal Dragon's here. Gosh. Good morning indeed, Chronal Dragon. We may post hints as long as they're not egregious. Don't know about that. Egregious hints are okay. So, yeah, while 1. So this is just a loop, which we're just saying we just do. Return 42. God damn it. Is that true? I mean, like... Actually, I suppose I shouldn't do any logic, actually. I suppose I should actually do the return up here, shouldn't I? So return 42. Let's build that. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not a 42. For once, it just isn't 42. Funny thing is, though, it is actually 1, so... I could do that. But again, the nifty thing is that there are multiple tests. The goal is to let Paul over there figure it out mostly on his own. Indeed. I don't know if I can just like to break out the loop other than return 0. Ah. If they match. Oh, right. Oh, I see. Oh, of course, yeah, yeah. I don't have a condition that allows me to break out of the loop other than return 0, which returns 0. I mean that would be like if they all match. It's like it's if all these things come together and they all amount to true, basically. Isn't it? Abner saying he rewrote a simple text editor on his most drunken state ever. Text editor. I don't remember a text editor ever being written at all. I do remember a spell checker. I definitely remember spell checker, but I never remember any text editor. Where's that? Spell checker bot. I need a case here that pops me out of the loop. Abner's dismissing. I mean, I want to pop out of the loop. I think you should manage 2 strings less relative and watch your thought process. Okay. Right, okay. So, let's just sketch this out. So, I've got hero coming in, and I've got heroine, right? I want to see if these guys match. So, I want to... So, I'm in this while loop, and I want to see if they match. If they do match, then I know that I can straight up fucking increment I, right? Which is down here. Yeah, I mean it's this thing of having multiple ifs in the while loop again. Oh, hello D7. Welcome. Straight fucking increment I, yeah. Don't think about the position. Okay. So yeah, I mean I'm going to test the H's, and then move on. Test the next characters. Street incrementation. It is street incrementation. It is. Move on and test the R's. And then I want to move on and test the O's. And then I want to move on and test these guys. These guys aren't going to match. Don't be afraid to reorder the ifs to possibly make them simpler. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do want to be making sure that these guys are valid before I actually... do anything else, really. Am I even testing that here? Yeah, I mean, I've stopped testing. I've stopped testing whether the string A at I is even valid. Okay, so let's go back to the actual mental comparison. First of all, I test if string A at I is valid. I test if I is less than string B size. And I test if they match. Don't I? And then I increment and then do the same again. Try the manual comparison with identical strings as well. See how it differs. Okay. So yeah. Right. So we need to get to the end, to the case where it actually does get to the end. So in this case we've looped the whole lot. these guys still match. We will increment I because we need to be able to test the validity of these positions. So we've got string A again is a null terminator string. So this is going to be a null here. So yeah, right. If we got to the position where string A doesn't no longer exist, yeah. If string A is null and I is less than the string B size, then we can return 1. Or rather, if I is if it's equal to string B size, if I take away 1 is equal to the string B size. Sorry, if string B size take away 1 is equal to I. So what was I saying? It was if we've got to the position where they still match, then we want to be seeing if they both no longer exist. Yeah, it's like what? It's when you pop out of the loop, isn't it? Sorry, if they no longer match, which is here, the test not be right. If the test not be equal, gotcha. Yeah. So if at this point if there's both, so if both string art, so if string A, string A to I. If that is null, and that is less than string B size, no, it's this, isn't it? It is this. If we've got to this position, then we can return 1 because we know that they have compared to be equal, surely. Otherwise, return 0. Let's just see what this does. I mean, I haven't even looked at the other logic for ages. So this is trying to compare dude. Right, so this is the case I thought I was... I mean, it's got all the other stuff going on, doesn't it? So it got a 0. Okay, so we're entering this loop. Entire is equal to 0, while 1. So we've got dude. So it's the same as heroin, basically, because they match. If string A at I does not equal string B at I. Why am I doing the test here again? This test should have been outside the loop, shouldn't it? Oh no. No, it isn't. No, this is correct. Well, it's not correct, but I mean it's where I would expect to put it. It's got to a position where they no longer match. So right, so what this is doing is right. It's coming into the loop. It's testing if they're not equal. It's going to fail that test, and it's going to go down, and it's going to see if I is greater than or equal to B size, which it won't be. Increment 1 for now. The input listed there might be a little misleading. The string B is actually dudette. But string B is 4, so it's supposed to do. Ah, right, it should compare equal. The input listed there might be a little bit. The string B is actually dudette. Oh. So his size is 4. Oh. Interesting. That's a bit crafty. Does it say that in the explanation? If all characters equal to 1, the length of string being characters. So funny that you kind of put stuff like that in it. So right, so in that case, yeah, I can't test for T. Well, you don't have to test. So have we come to the end of another soundtrack? How long have we been going? An hour and 20, okay. Let's pop on Limbo. I'm on the right track. Why do you only have the size of B? It's a good question. I'm going to step into it and just see where my where my thinking is failing. So I'm not quite sure where to step into. And also there's like all these F-Zeros. Let's just step into here. Right. So yeah, I'm comparing dude and dudette. And B size is 4, right. So it's like while... If I just go to the increment... Or actually, I'll tell you what, I will actually just step through it all. So it jumps straight down to the increment. String A is not terminated. String B isn't. So I is currently 1. So we're comparing E against, sorry, we're comparing U against U. Then we're comparing D against D. Right, so they still match, and it should pop down. So at this point, this is 4, so this should fail, and it should enter the next thing. Right. So what have we got? We've got string A at I. That is equal to, so that no longer exists. So this no longer exists, so that is going to satisfy this no longer existing. And what is I? I is 4. And for some reason, oh, it's take away 1, isn't it? I shouldn't be taking away 1, because string B size is equal to that. Yeah, okay, so that test is busted. Right. Oh wow, so, blimey. How did that fail? Oh, it's probably, yeah, I'm indexing past somewhere I shouldn't be indexing past. So it was like, yeah, it's in this test here. I also need to test in here before I actually do this comparison. I need to test whether they're valid. Let me open the little PO as far as help set it up. Alternative D7 is Y has the size of B. Yeah, I mean, I think as far as he's saying, it's like a it's kind of like a programming puzzle, really. So kind of like how TIS 100 has puzzles of that kind of nature. They're just kind of set up to kind of yeah, set up to give you a bit of a teaser, really, I think. Yeah, I mean, if I was comparing the same kind of a thing, I could test either both of them to be null terminated, or I to be less than both of their sizes. I mean, I suppose also I could test here, couldn't I? Before doing the increments. Sean is saying it's not that contrived though. He has a very similar function in his tokenizer since it doesn't zero the token strings, so they're just pointers into the original text stream instead of copied. Oh. Also, I don't know, test cases. Hmm. Oh, past, right. Oh, gotcha, yeah. So, yeah, right. So I was obviously incrementing past I, but I can't increment. So before doing the increment, I want to be making sure. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I can do that in the while. You know, if they exist. You know, if string 8i, if they both exist. Oh, right. I think this is what Ratchet Freak was saying earlier, actually. That one of them might not actually be right. Let's do it here instead. If string 8i, if that is valid. Yeah, but still it's going to be able to test, isn't it? Does anyone know about having Clang play nice with POSIX functions in Windows? No. Or maybe you know it. Yeah. What am I building with actually? Oh, it's GCC. Okay. I might just pop that to Clang because that's what I usually use. So yeah. Yeah, right. So where am I trying to do this now? It's the incrementing. If string A, if this is valid, but then again I feel like if I'm going to increment past it, you know, if, because it's going to pass, this is going to be valid, it's going to pass it, but then I'm still going to end up incrementing I, so it's going to be invalid, and when I do the test again it's going to be busted. Because what I'm kind of saying is, if I is less than string B size, I'm basically saying if these things are true, then I'm safe to increment I, which isn't necessarily the case. I don't think. Yeah, I probably could, but I have like worked. I have got it to do it, though, haven't I? Yeah, that's busted. So yeah, if I just remove this, fortunately not that's here. Oh, what did I do? Line 139. Where did that come from? I went to Karuga. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the Limbo soundtrack. Yeah. I don't actually have Inside, so I can't play that soundtrack. But, I mean, I'm not quite sure what happened there, though. Did I just... Oh, I just didn't give enough parentheses. No. Oh, actually, yeah, that is fine. Yeah, these warnings are fine. Right. And, okay, so there's the sanitized thing. Yeah, I shouldn't be paying attention to that. Right, fine. So, yeah. I don't even know what's happening here. No, there's another nursery. So this isn't even ending the loop now. Hey, so there's an instrumentation thing. Just can't work out this. Ah, yeah, that'll be it, won't it? Yeah, interesting. So I'm not ever exiting the loop. If they, otherwise, presumably, we want to break. And if we're breaking, we might as well return 1. But that's not true. If at this point they don't match, string A tie. What am I trying to return here? I'm trying to return 1, aren't I? It's just so confusing with all these if zeros flying around as well. So I might just nuke this stuff. Midler is currently trying to get exercise 2 of PPIC lessons. Comparing 2 strings of varying null terminatedness. So if that is valid, and this is less than that, then we can increment that safely. Otherwise... Otherwise, if we cannot increment safely, then if either this is not null, so if this we haven't incremented, sorry, if this exists, if this is not null, and I is less than the string B size, then we can increment. If this is null, I mean, it's kind of like if they match, but I'm not sure if that's quite true. Let's see if this even finishes the loop. Oh, I've passed it. Well, that was unexpected. Lol, students, some clarification after asked what I love pause deliberately. I mean, let's just destroy. I mean, is that return? Is this return one? No, that's part of the end if. And then there's another if zero down here, and that is coming down to here. We just actually, now that we've finally come to the end of the stream, let's change this to inconsolata, just for the fun of it. So while one. So this is the whole. This is all of the logic. Right. We can't part of string A. Oh, is it possible to look out to be a genuine character in string B? Is it possible to know? I think that is what Ratchet Freak was suggesting earlier, that it would fail if that was the case. I can see that, but I think you have all the cases. Let me just make sure that does actually still do what I want. It's still passing. The way often is that you see if string A I do not equal string B, yeah. And if one of the strings is terminated and the other one hasn't, there's an inequality. Right, yeah. So that depends on them both being terminated in the same way, isn't it? And I think that is what I did do. That's what I did do in my actual string compare. In fact, I wonder if I've still got that here. Then I can actually compare it. Let's just go back. It'd be under BWT. So my actual compare strings thing. This is my actual compare strings. So I mean, it's got this special case here for the 3. Because I need that for the particular implementation of BWT. But basically, I just go over the. So I'm passing in the length, and the length happens to. Mind you, I suppose this isn't quite a full string compare strings, because I already know that the lengths of the two are the same. But I'm essentially looping over the length of each. The length of each string, and then I first of all test if they don't match. And then I do this special case. I mean, this entire special case could actually just die, couldn't it? And I could just return this. Is that true? Fun little gotcha. If one of the strings ends up as terminated and the other one hasn't, that's an inequality. That just goes fun little gotcha. So yeah, I'm gonna just wrap up the stream here, but Wild One. I'm a bit on uncomfortable about having a wild one, because I feel like there should be like there should be a more succinct way to actually loop through the stuff. It requires some different thinking than if they were two null terminated strings, which is not immediately obvious. So I'd say that was a gotcha. Yeah, and so how did I have to work around this? So first of all, it's a wild one. If they don't match, then if that isn't valid, and this is equal to the string B size, then I can safely assume that they do match. Insofaras just arrived. Sup, failfish young people just blindly buy games for you. That's fine with me. Young people buying games for me. Then there will be an inequality in any case. Because you want 2 minutes early, then you get a false positive. Yeah. Right, if one of them has a null mid-string. The string A, so if they don't match, then we then see if this is null, and this is also ostensibly null, then we could say that they are equal. Otherwise, if they're not both null or whatever, then we could say that they're not equal. If they don't match. It's just so weird that I'm like popping an increment in the middle of this thing here. That this was fun. You reckon? How long did it take? So it was 1 hour and 45, so it's essentially like the traditional 2-hour stream. And I'll tell you what, actually, I think it's all thanks to Abner's tweet, which I believe happened, that I ended up with all of these people in this the channel. There's like 25 people. I believe that's 25 people in this channel. Oh, and there's more activity down in Twitch as well. Insofar as it was helpful and just not torturous. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was helpful. I guess I guess I haven't got a full grasp of the logic, actually, honestly. I don't know whether that's because I have been super aware of a bunch of people watching, and I kind of been a bit like, you know, kind of not fully processing all the logic. Yeah, I've actually make it a HMN project. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I don't know whether it's because of that or whether I just haven't fully grasped all the cases. I mean, Asaf is saying that it could be simplified somewhat. I guess actually doing a wild one is also a bit different for me because I haven't really done that before. So yeah, tell you what, maybe next time I will try and simplify this a bit. And then, I mean, I don't think I need to go back and implement this guy again, because I definitely know how to do that. Simplify this, and then go on and do the rest of them. And I mean, I have already previously done, maybe if I practice it more, maybe not necessarily on stream, the logic will become clearer. That's possible, actually, yeah. I need to have a better understanding of the algorithm unrelated to code, and then the simplification should be straightforward. Yeah, right. So kind of thinking about how you do it in, like, English. I have a feeling you might have said that before, actually, as well. Yeah, but I think for now I will close the stream with, like, huge thanks for watching and for being awesome and helpful and beautiful and heroic and patient as well, actually. And a special thanks, obviously, to Insofaras for doing the lesson in the first place. Until the next stream, farewell for now.